Hello, my friends. Happy Sunday. Solutions for Sellers, peeps. Super excited to hang out with you guys tonight. I'm going to be sharing 3 ways to create engagement in your parties. This is always going to be a hot topic because we all party, right? Everybody who is in the direct sales business, or most of us, we are partying online. But I know some of us have probably experienced a downward spiral when it comes to overall engagement, right? Super frustrating to be able to finally get hostesses and bookings on the calendar. And then you actually finally start your parties and then engagement is just out of the window. So that is what tonight's topic is going to be about. I'm going to be sharing 3 ways to create engagement in your parties. And some of these things might be things that you already know, but we want to simplify. We want to simplify the process. I'm going to be giving you some little examples on each category to help you guys kind of elevate and level up your strategy in your party. So if you guys are watching live, make sure you say hello in the comments. Let me know where you're tuning in from and what temperature it is where you're living. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and get started. So I'm excited. So let's go ahead and get started. First, 3 things that I think gets overlooked a lot of the time is the 3 main reasons why people use social media. I know that I've repeated this piece of the training over and over and over again in some of my other trainings. But the reason why I like to repeat this is because people tend to forget that people are on social media for education, entertainment, and connection. And if you're not creating pieces of content that fills those gaps, right? Then it's going to be a little bit harder for you to kind of attract your people. It's going to be harder for you to gain that engagement. So let's talk about that a little bit. So education, entertainment, and connection. Those are going to be the 3 components or 3 main elements to an engaged party. Okay. And I feel like it gets really easy, and you guys can let me know in the comments, but doesn't it get easy to kind of use the same strategies over and over again, right? A lot of times what we used to do, right, is we used to take a party script that was shared from an upline, and then we use that same party script, right, over and over and over and over and over and over again, sometimes for years. So over time, this doesn't work anymore because social media is evolving, right? And because social media is evolving, our strategies have to evolve with it. You don't want to end up in a space where you're sharing content and you're doing all these things that used to work back in the day that no longer work anymore, right? So yeah, that's something to definitely take a look at. So when we're talking about education, entertainment, and connection, what does that really mean and what does that encompass? Let's talk about it. So first, I kind of broke it down into 3 main things because every party strategy or every party setting needs to have these 3 components in order for them to be visually appealing, in order for them to attract attention, and in order for them to boost engagement, right? So let's go ahead and talk about those 3. So first, the one that's really easy, let's just cover that topic, is games, right? Comment below if when you throw a party, comment below if you've ever played a game in your party. That's going to be like everybody, right? We've all played games in our parties. Sometimes they're live games. Sometimes they're graphic games, but there's tons of different games that you can play, right? But here's what we really want to kind of break it down to. What are those effective games that allow you to boost engagement? What are those games that really, really help with getting multiple comments at once? Well, it really could be any kind of game, to be honest with you. But gift games are really fun ones, right? Gift games are really good. So if you don't know what a GIF is, it's where you have multiple images that like change. And if you can have somebody in your audience take a screenshot to where they try to get a result, or maybe they're trying to spell a name, or maybe they're trying to get a certain image, maybe that's part of the game. Those tend to do very well. Gift games tend to do pretty decent, right? Another one is a guessing game, right? Guess how many. That's really popular one that tends to do very well. You can do mystery murder games. You could do Facebook room games. That's fun, where you go into a Facebook party and you go live, but in a room setting, and you play games with people that hop onto your room. You could do this or that. You could do emoji Pictionary. You could do Family Feud. You could do a live version of Family Feud, which is a lot of fun. You could do MASH. You could do a MASH booking game. You could do Word Scrabble, Wheel of Fortune. You could do Battleship. There's just so many different games that you can play in a party setting. So some of you may ask this. So Janet, I play games, but nobody interacts with it. Anybody relate to that? Let me know in the comments if this is something that you can relate to. I feel you. But here's the deal. If you're not getting engagement on your games, then there's something missing. And typically it's the connection with your hostess, or if your hostess isn't participating in the party like she should, right? So one of the main things is when I first started in direct sales specifically, I had a hard time with that because nobody really teaches you this stuff, right? Usually somebody will give you like a hostess coaching template or some kind of outline that somebody else used from another team, and they share it with you, right? And then you start using it and then the hostess doesn't do the thing. That's the most frustrating part, right? Is that when you start actually utilizing some of the things that these leaders give you, like your hostess coaching templates, and like the hostess doesn't do the thing. That's frustrating, right? So how do you overcome some of those things? Well, number one, and this is what I had a conversation with somebody recently about, one of my coaching clients, is what does your hostess coaching look like? And she explained to me this whole thing, right? It's like a very elaborate hostess coaching template. And she had her hostess had to do like a number of things on a daily basis, right? It was like a number of things that she had like a list of multiple things that the hostess had to do. Here's the problem when you give your hostess too much to do. It becomes too overwhelming. This is supposed to be fun. It becomes not fun anymore, right? So how do you kind of change that mentality? Well, number one, if you're running into this issue over and over again where you can't get your hostess to do the thing, you can't get your hostess to actually go through and make a post or invite people to the group, then you need to change your hostess coaching template. You need to change your coaching timeline, okay? You need to change what it is that you're giving to your hostess. You want to simplify, okay? One of the biggest reasons why people get turned off by direct sellers is when you sell too much. Yeah. Okay. Or when you put on the direct sales mask. You guys know what I'm talking about? When suddenly you change from this person, this really cool person that you connected with in a party, right? And then you turn into the consultant. You turn into the salesperson where you're trying to say all the right things in the correct way. And then you come off as commission breath. You guys ever heard of the term commission breath? We all fall into this spell. Like we don't really talk like ourselves. We're using a lot of copy paste scripts. We don't sound genuine. We're not really talking with our hostess like they're our friend. Let me just tell you, the best hostess coaching that you could ever do with your hostess is number one, make sure that you have a connection with your hostess. Make sure you treat her like she's your best friend. I did that every single time. I used my voice clip. I used words that sounded like me. I did some copy pasting, but I made sure I changed some of the words so that it sounded like me, right? I made sure that I connected with her on Facebook. I made sure all my hostesses are friends with me on Facebook. I know everybody thinks differently on this, but all my hostesses, they are my friends on Facebook because it's like, I don't want to just have you host a party for me and then cool, you did me this favor, see you later, right? I want them to know I care about them. Like if you hosted a party for me, I want to hook you up with all the things, but also like the best hostesses become people that you can connect with and they can connect with you, right? And it's okay if we have different personalities, but that's your job. Your job is to be a friend. Your job is to be everybody's friend on the internet. If you're doing business online, you got to build that personal brand. What is a personal brand? Is you. You are your personal brand. And the way to do that is to be genuinely yourself at all times. That's the way to do it. You got to be genuinely yourself at all times. And don't treat your hostess like a hostess. Treat her like a friend. Hey girl, how's it going? How's life? Be friends with her. Interact on her posts. Love on her stories. Love on her Facebook posts. If she posts pics of her kids, leave some genuine comments. But honestly, hostess coaching is a really big part of this, and I probably should have added it as an element to this training, because you guys, we can't keep treating our hostesses like they are our hostesses. We got to treat them like they're friends, because they feel, if they can feel it, if they're being used as pawns. You know what I mean? Maybe that's not our intention, but they can feel it when you treat them as like this different thing where they have to do a whole bunch of tasks for you. You have to make it fun. The reason why they booked a party was more than likely because you were fun. They found something really fun in the party and they thought it was really cool and interesting and fun. So that's probably why they booked a party with you, right? So we got to make sure that we are making sure that we are putting in that fun factor and we are keeping the fun factor. Okay? Capiche? And if you guys haven't already downloaded the Simple Coaching Guide, there's a free one in this group. If you have no idea how to do coaching, check out the free guide in there. That literally copy pastes like my words of how I talk to people. Of course, you can change it up however you want, but that's literally how I talk to people. I keep it very short sentences, short questions, very simple to the point tasks. But I also make sure I carry on some conversation in between, okay? Instead of just only reaching out to her to give her a 1-minute task, reach out to her and say, hey, how's it going? Good morning. Happy Thursday. How's it going today? And like, just talk to her. Just be a human being. A lot of people forget like that connection piece. When you don't have that connection piece, you're going to lose her. And that's really what happens most of the time. Unless you get lucky with a hostess that, kind of knows how it works and wants to just genuinely participate. But other times, people require that connection. So just something to think about. But search this group for Simple Coaching Guide and you should be able to find it and you can download it. It's free. Check it out and implement whatever you want to implement, you guys. Okay? All right. So fun games is the first element. One thing to remember when it comes to our parties is that a party is supposed to be fun. Okay? So if it's not fun, then we need to change it up. Okay. If your engagement posts are not getting comments and it's party after party after party, and you've got your hostess coaching kind of in line, right? You're giving your 1-minute tasks. You're focusing on connection. You're just having conversations. It doesn't have to be difficult when it's online. I have so many connections with people online. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't. The only way you will make it difficult is if you just say that to yourself. But it's not difficult as long as you are creating that pathway to connection. You have to create that pathway. If the only way that you're communicating with your hostess is by giving them the task that they're supposed to do that day. Hey, happy Thursday. Here's your 1-minute task for the day. Or make sure that you're commenting and make sure that you're tagging and make sure that you're inviting people. Hi, you haven't invited anybody to the group yet. Is there a problem? Did you need assistance with this? You don't want to sound like a robot. Right? Connection doesn't have anything to do with having to change who you are. You just have to be who you are and just be a friendly person. That's the best way to create connection. And you can absolutely do that online. You really, really can. So I hope that's at least a little bit encouraging on some ideas on how to do that. So yes, fun games. Your parties have to be fun, guys. Okay. So gift games, guessing games, go live, this or that, room games, emoji Pictionary, all the things. Those are a lot of fun games. But if it's not working, if what you're doing is not working, then you need to switch up your strategy. You need to switch it up a little bit. Back up a little bit and think about, okay, what does my hostess coaching look like? All right. Am I just vomiting too much on my hostess? Or can I pull back a little bit? And can I give very simple tasks while also making sure that I'm building that connection with my hostess? I'm talking about things other than what I need from her. Okay. That's like the definition of building a connection, is talking about other things that has nothing to do with just building you, right? Her kids, her family, her dog, something that you can relate to her on, and just back and forth. And then after the party ends, making sure that you're just harnessing that connection, because when you can do that, it's going to help you get your hostess even to give you referrals. People will refer people that they actually like. So anyway, there's the tip on that. So fun games is the first one. Okay. The second one is video. Okay. I'm sure you guys knew I was going to say this one. Video. Who here is incorporating any kind of video in your parties right now? And if you are, let me know in the comments, what kind of video do you incorporate? Do you do a live demo? Do you go live and play a game? Do you do an intro video introducing yourself? because I'm going to give you some awesome examples of how you can boost engagement fairly quickly by implementing some elements of video. Okay. I don't want to say that in order to have a successful party, you have to go live in every single one of them. However, you should, where video marketing is the number one way that consumers are consuming their content. It's literally the number one, like it's the top of the charts. And that's how people are spending their time. They're spending their time on Reels, on TikTok, Snapchat, all these short form video platforms. Then video needs to also be incorporated into your parties. And I'm not saying you need to do back-to-back lives here and there, but if you can incorporate little 15 to 30-second videos that you can pre-record for your season, right? And then change them out every season. That's a great way to give some variety into your party so that people are looking at your content and you're boosting that engagement that way. How can you share them without a YouTube link? So one thing that you could do, and this is what I've done in some of the training posts for SendShare, for other trainers, and even in this group, what I like to do is I like to take our Canva templates, and it comes with the scripts, right? Like, so if you purchase any of our scripts, there's frames in there where you can upload any pre-recorded video and just upload it to the frame and save it as an MP4 and then upload it into SendShare and schedule it, or upload it and then schedule it to post using Facebook Scheduler or whatever schedule you use. So that's one way. And that's typically how I like to do things. You could take one day out of your week, okay? Go through your entire party script, which you should have a party script set aside, right? Go through your party script and look, okay, what post can I make that I can turn into 15 to 30-second videos? Well, number one, 15 to 30-second videos are like the driving force of video marketing, right? Yeah, absolutely. If you go through and on Canva where it says download, there's like a PNG option, there's PDF. Go to where it says MP4. As soon as you upload the video, it'll give you the option to download as an MP4. You have to do it individually, like per Canva image, but it will change the way that you party online, because now it's not a stock photo anymore, right? It's not a stock photo anymore. It's not a commercial post anymore. Now it's a video. And if even better, if you can incorporate a video, a 15 to 30-second video of you doing a short demo, of you sharing a tip or a hack when using your product, of you doing an intro video into your parties, introducing yourself and letting people know how this party is going to run, right? That intro video needs to be like 1 to 2 minutes. Very first post. Quick video of you saying, hey, my name is Janet. I'm so excited to hang out with you. Chelsea's the hostess. Chelsea's so excited because she wants X, Y, and Z and blah, 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 blah. I wanted to tell you a little bit about me and how I got started with 31, right? I was actually at a party just like you guys are right now. And I just was blown away of the amazing products. I was blown away with just how easy this business seemed and just how much fun it was. I wanted something for me that I can call my own. So I wanted to make sure that, if this was something that I was going to get into, that I could do it. And when I took the plunge, it was an incredible journey. And now I do this for a living, right? Or now I do this as a way to supplement my income. And I absolutely love it. Comment below with where you work. And if you have something to supplement your income, let us know below, right? Scene. So that would be like an example of an intro video. Of course, that's like a rough example. It's a rough example, guys. Don't copy that. But it's a rough example of how you could do a 1 to 3 minute intro video, just introducing yourself, right? Introducing yourself and just being yourself. What's really cool about that is that social media platforms are going to be pushing video anyway, because video is leading the way. It really is. And if you can make a quick, even if you didn't talk in your video and you made a 15 to 30-second reel where you're pointing to different text bubbles, telling people about yourself, that's a fun way to start off your parties. It's attractive, it's different, and it makes you stand out. Instead of a just standard welcome to the party post with a whole bunch of text that people are just not going to read, because that's kind of what it is right now. Your battle right now when it comes to social media parties is making sure that you are capturing attention. And how do you do that? Well, video is a fantastic way of doing it. Okay. That's why we talk about the 3 V's: video, visuals, and value. So, anyway, other examples of videos that you can put, right? I just talked about like 15-second demos on like top sellers, 15-second hack/tip videos, right? So, instead of just constantly selling your products, you can do hack/tip videos that have to do with the thing that you sell, but not necessarily pushing your product, right? So, for example, if you're in Pampered Chef and you sell Pampered Chef products, instead of constantly just here's a product, here's a product, here's a product, you can easily do a video that's a tip or a hack teaching people 5 simple tips when it comes to meal prepping, right? And you guys can literally go into Instagram Reels. And if you go to Instagram Reels and you just take some time to go down the scroll hole a little bit and you watch how people like incorporate music and do little text bubbles here like this, that captures people's attention. It really does. You can put 5 tips and show people 5 simple tips to help you learn how to meal prep better, right? And boom, 2, 3, 4, 5, and like a cute little song, right? You could use a trending song if you want to, and it could just be you teaching instead of just selling all the time. Does that make sense? So anyway, that's an awesome way to incorporate videos into your parties. The next thing is, like we all do, right? A live demo and a live game. Right? Who does a live demo in their parties? Do you guys have products that you showcase every so often? For me, whenever we do product showcasing, and we do it in our VIP group also, we have like a team VIP group that we have together. I like to take products every month and we do like a monthly episode where we showcase different products and we focus on that. But we don't only focus on the product and put the product in your face. We talk about tips. We talk about health. We talk about skincare. We talk about statistics. We talk about science, right? Because it applies to us and it doesn't make us feel like we're constantly selling. Because if you are giving value, that's the definition of value, right? When you're teaching people, if you're giving constant value, people are going to want to come back to you because then you become what's called the resource. You can easily do that in your parties. You can do demos. But along with the demos, you can add a teaching tool behind it. Anything you can teach them, even if it's something very little, even if it's a simple tip or a simple hack behind every product demo, is value. It's value, and it's a good thing that you want to add into your parties. The last video that you can add in here, and let me just tell you, you don't have to feel like if you have multiple parties, Janet, do I have to go live 11 times? These are a lot of videos. I would do this. I would just record a bunch of videos for the season. If the products last for an entire season, then I would go through and just do simple demos, right? Simple product demos, simple hack tip video demos, simple intro videos. Even if you don't say the hostess name, you can still do an intro video. An intro video that you can apply across, multiple parties. And then I would even have like a closing out video, right? Like last day of the party, put it into your themed Canva template so that you have a themed template on top of it and say something like, hey guys, just want to let you know today's the last day to do some shopping. Here's a link above. Once again, my name is Janet. If you guys need any help, let me know. These are the specials. Just want to remind you what these specials are. But your host is super close to reaching the next thing of rewards. Just want to let you guys know before you close out. If you need any assistance, comment below with me in the comments, right? Simple, super simple. And you can make these once a season. If you want to maybe update them throughout the season, you totally can. When there's new products, when there's a sale that's out, just update that sales video and change it out every season. And then you're up to date with your strategy, girl. Then you're incorporating video, you're incorporating games, right? You've simplified your hostess coaching, which is very crucial. And then you're not word vomiting. You're not constantly just being a salesperson in your parties, right? I know we want to sell, but it's just a trendy way of showing up authentically and also showing up with value and also showing up in the way that consumers are consuming their content through video. Okay. It's super helpful to have those little short videos in there. Is this helping you guys? Hashtag value in the comments. Okay, so there's that portion. So we've talked about video, very important. And then we talked about fun games. So the last piece, which I'm sure some of you were probably confused on this last piece on what to include in your parties. This last piece is stories. Okay. Stories is a different way for you to show up in your parties. Why are stories important? I'm going to give you some like quick examples of how you can incorporate them into your parties. Stories are the opportunity for your audience to get to know you. Okay. And that's what you want. You want people to get to know you, because when people can get to know you and your story, people have that opportunity to choose whether they want to follow you or not. It gives them that extra piece of connection that you need, right? It gives them that extra opportunity for them to choose if, hey, this is my person, or relate to you, right? So, how can you incorporate some stories in here? Well, one, this requires you to share a little bit about yourself. Okay. And if you guys are confused of this training so far, these are like more modernized way of thinking when it comes to running your online events, right? So I want you guys to kind of think outside the box a little bit and think about all of the hundreds of parties that you've attended and how repetitive those posts can be, and how many times you've kind of tuned out because it's either boring or you've seen it before or there's just nothing unique about it. You got to think your audience probably is thinking that as well. So you have to start thinking outside the box a little bit. So, what are some examples of how you can play stories into your parties? Well, number one, you can make a game out of your story. So, number one, you could do a game called Two Truths and a Lie. Who's ever played Two Truths and a Lie before? Comment below. Two Truths and a Lie is a very fun, simple engagement post. Okay. Why I love this game is because, A, my folks, right, or your folks get the opportunity to get to know you. Okay. So when people get the opportunity to get to know you, that gives them an opportunity to play something that's just like non-pressure, right? You can build that connection. You can just keep up the excitement. And I've always played this game in person, and it's always been fun. I even played it on my wall a while ago. So fun, guys. It's so fun because it's just a random game, right? It's so random, but it allows people to get to know you. It's that fun factor. And you're kind of putting your story in there. Okay, cool. Yeah, love the game. You've played before. So if you don't know what Two Truths and a Lie is, it's basically when you can either do this in a live game, or you could do this like on a post. Okay. So your post, if you do it on a post, basically what you're saying is you're giving people three scenarios. Okay. And they're all going to be like little mini stories, right? So for example, if I play this game with you right now, I would say, okay, guys, we're going to play Two Truths and a Lie. Okay. So I'm going to give you three scenarios here. All right. And you have to determine which one is the actual lie and which two are the truth. Okay. So I'm going to give you three scenarios. And as soon as I get done telling you what those scenarios are, you have to comment below and let me know which one you think is the lie. Number one, number two, or number three. Okay. Here's scenario number one. Scenario number one is I once went to college and I actually graduated with my esthetician certificate. And I also got my reflexology certificate as well. And I actually have a passion for skincare. And the only reason I didn't really get into it was because I actually don't have a reason as to why I didn't get into it. I ended up just not having the ability to do it, right? So there's one scenario. The second scenario is I used to be, my first car accident was when I was 18 years old and I came out of my neighborhood and a deer crossed the road and completely just hit the front side of my car. My car spun around 3 times and I completely totaled my car. There's the second scenario. So now the third scenario. You guys ready for the third one? Here's the third scenario. The third scenario is, so one time I went to school and my mom dropped me off at school. And when I went to class, I ended up sitting in my first period class, and I realized that I was in the wrong classroom. So it was like the first day of school or something. And my mom didn't know a lot of English, so she couldn't really talk to a lot of the teachers because my mom's Puerto Rican. My mom is Puerto Rican. So Spanish is her first language. English is the second language. So I didn't really know where to go. So I spent my time going through the hallways, and I decided I was just going to leave school. And when I left school, I went to a playground for the rest of the day. And then, because I was too shy to tell the teacher that I didn't know what I was doing, I didn't want to look stupid because I was in school and I was super shy and introverted. So I came back, and my mom picked me up from school afterwards, and she never knew that I didn't know that I didn't go to school. So now it's up to you to decide which out of the three scenarios, 1, 2, or 3, is true, or which one's the lie. Excuse me. You have to decide which one is the lie in the comments. The first one, the second one, or the third one. Anyways, you guys don't have to actually play the game, but I just wanted to give you kind of the example. That was total improv, by the way. Joanne said 2. Number 2 is a lie. Trisha said 2. Everybody's in unison on this one. Marshall said number 1. Yeah, this is really cool. But look, you could play this game live, okay, if you wanted to, or you could do like a little post where you have the 3 scenarios and you can have people comment in the comments. If you do it live, though, it's more fun because you get to know people and you can crack jokes and all the things. And it's really, really easy to mess up when you're live, unless you have it like prepared, scripted beforehand. It's really easy to mess up because you're lying, right? Like there's a lie in there somewhere. So, okay, everybody thinks it's number 2. Should I really tell you guys? So the lie is number 2. The lie is number 2. I did hit a deer, but my car never spun around and my car didn't get totaled, but I did hit a deer. I made it super dramatic. Wow, you guys guessed that really quickly. Number 1 is yes. I went to beauty school, reflexology certificate, all the fun stuff. And I just didn't do anything with it. So that's what, yeah. I did do like facials, like coming like from my house and stuff. I had people like come over my house and stuff like that. But yeah. Isn't that fun? And it's really cool, right? It's just a really fun way to get people to get to know you. And it's you kind of incorporating your story in there a little bit because people are it's just a fun way for people to get to know you. I've been watching you long enough to figure that out. Dang it. I got to get more creative with you guys. All right. So that's one way that you can incorporate your story, right? Another one is a day in the life. Okay, a day in the life basically gives your audience an opportunity to figure out what you do on a day-to-day basis in your business, right? So a day in the life, it's got a little graphic where you can put a picture of you and you've got like instructions on how to play a day in the life. So basically what you have people do is they can actually comment and in the post itself, it's you have to have your audience guess what a day in the life as a consultant or a social marketer looks like. So people might say, they might comment and say, maybe you spend, 4 hours a day on your computer, or you can work from home, or you can work on your phone, or you can make commission every day of the week, whatever scenario, right? But they have to kind of guess like what a day in the life looks like for you. And so everybody has to leave like a comment, and then you have to respond to them whether it's correct or incorrect. So that's a fun little game, right? Again, it gives people the opportunity to get to know you. You're incorporating a little piece of your story. People get to find out a little bit about what you do in your business. And honestly, it can really turn into a really fun recruiting game. So I don't know if you guys have ever played recruiting games before, but they can be super effective. I've never recruited people without actually talking about the business. Like I have to talk about the business in order for me to recruit people. Okay, so a day in the life. Here's another fun one that you can play, and it's like a game, right? But this is really, really, a kind of lets you get to know your audience a little bit, and it lets you know like who's who in your audience. So this game is called Make Your Cashier Uncomfortable. It's called Make Your Cashier Uncomfortable. What 3 things are you going to buy to make your cashier uncomfortable? And this is a really fun one. I know it sounds super simple, but it's super fun because people get really creative with this. And so I would definitely play that game because you get to know your people and just like the way that they think. And a lot of times when you play these kind of games is other people end up reading each other's comments and they end up just kind of chatting with each other. So I really like those like simple like scenario games. But it allows you to get to know people, right? So, I mean, if you can play any game that allows your people to open up and share about themselves, and you're kind of sharing kind of stories in between, that's just a great way to build that connection. Of course, it's going to incorporate the fun factor in the party, and it'll definitely boost engagement for you guys. My biggest issue is getting people to attend the live. So, a couple of things that you could do, Joanne, to get people to attend the live is number one, involve your hostess. Okay. Is this a problem that a lot of us have? Do we have a problem getting people to show up to the live? Because if that's the case, then there's a couple of things that you could do. Number one, you can have definitely talk to your hostess, right? You want to incorporate your hostess into your hostess coaching. And what you want to do is make sure that she knows when the live is. Okay, so that's number one. And another thing is you have to also understand like people are not on Facebook all of the time. They're not looking at all the posts all of the time. People are busy. So if you can repeat over and over again, at least a few times, maybe 3 or 4 times throughout your party, when your live event is and what time it will begin, that's going to help with the attendance rate. Another thing is allow your hostess to be a professional reminder for you. So if you can get your hostess in a chat and say, "Hey girl, so the event's going to be tomorrow. Could you help me out with helping people like attend and actually show up?" Because there's going to be some prizes on the live game if you're doing a live game or a live demo, whatever you're doing. And we want to make sure that people are actually attending. If we can have at least 7 or 8 people show up, then we can actually play a fun game. So have your hostess in on it. If your hostess can go through and do like the professional reminder thing, she can send messages, she can make a post in the group, which can be super effective. If your hostess is posting in the group, that's a really good sign of a party that should probably be engaged. So if you can have her make a reminder post, "Hey guys, who's joining me in the party tonight?" or "Who's joining me in the live event?" So that's one way. Another thing you could do is I would ask like, how long are your parties? Because if the shorter that you can make your parties, the more likely people are going to show up to the live event. So if you're doing like 6, 7, 8, 9-day parties, like I know a lot of people are doing, people will completely just tune out after a couple days. 2 to 3 days are going to be my recommendation. 5 days is like the very top, like it's the very end. I would not ever, 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 ever run a party longer than 5 days. 2 to 3 days is like my recommendation. But 5 days, that is like the cutoff. After 5 days, you're just going to completely lose people, if that makes sense. Okay. Is it okay to tag the people in the party in the post or live? Or is that something that shouldn't be done? I tag people all the time, especially if they are commenting and engaging. Yes, I would tag them, but I prefer to have my hostess tag them. So if she can make a post tagging everybody in the party, or at least 10 to 12 of her besties in the party, like an hour before the live, that would be a great thing to do if you could. 5 days, do you do 1 pre-party, 3 party, and 1 wrap up? I would do 3 pre-party, 1 party day, and then 1 post party day. So if I tag people too. So I wouldn't tag people, but I would have my hostess tag people for sure, because people are going to listen to the hostess 9 times out of 10 versus the consultant. So I would definitely repeat a few times in the party when you're going to go live. I would put it in your welcome post. I would put it in your video, your welcome video. I would put it the day of you're going live. I would do it the day before you're going live. I would have your hostess post an hour before your live. Hey, just reminding everybody what time the live is. That's what I would do. And I hope that's helpful. But that's basically the scenario that I would run. All right, guys. That's all I have for you guys tonight on Sunday, in our Sunday segment. I hope that's helpful for you guys. 3 ways to create engagement, guys. Incorporate some video throughout your parties. Making sure you have some fun games as well. And then apply some stories, guys. Try it. Try 2 truths and a lie. You don't even have to have a graphic for it. Just play the game. Just put the words in there and put a colored background in the back if you can. Unless it's a lot of text. If it's a lot of text, then just do words and see what kind of engagement you get in your parties. And then let me know. Okay. I hope this was helpful, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and I will see you guys later. Bye, y'all.